bring them down.
The Empire's
Stay with
on
us.
the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
One ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
The Alex Jones Show. Because there is a war on for your mind.
This interview that's live on the radio and TV right now will be posted to prisonplanet.tv tonight. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. We'll repost it to Infowars.com. It's essential for our millions of listeners to take that video and to send it to press, send it to media, send it to talk show hosts, and say, hey, back in 2000, the CDC had a meeting. And in 2004, ordered a cover-up. And they covered it up, and now, a decade later, one of the people involved in the cover-up has gone public and is now being retaliated against. This is an incredibly important article. This is an incredibly important whistleblower. This is incredibly important information. We know, not just from Dr. Wakefield, who they've tried to destroy, but from Dr. Blaylock and countless other scientists and other government studies and secret British studies that were released last year that had been done 20 years ago, that a bunch of vaccines in a baby causes an autoimmune response, swelling on the brain, and retardation. And they call all the different disorders that the babies get autism spectrum. Look at this article out of MyFox. City mandates free medical marijuana for low-income residents. That's what the Berkeley City Council is doing. Sounds nice and friendly. No, it's a way to suppress people. That's why George Soros... See, just because I'm for drug decriminalization doesn't mean I'm for the drug culture. See the difference? Just because I don't want to throw people in jail for smoking marijuana doesn't mean I agree with the people that smoke tons of it every day and are zombies. That's what this is about. This is THX 1138, Brave New World. Aldous Huxley's brother ran the UN. He said his book was about a real plan. He was a top British eugenicist who went public. Was a plan to socially control the public. They're controlling us with the fluoride, the GMO, the culture, the television, the additives, the chemicals. All of it is pharmakeia through the food and the water. It's in the water. And they're hammering babies at birth with 40-something different shots by the time they're 6 months old. I mean, I see people with like 1-year-old, 2-year-old kids now. I mean, a lot of them you can tell are ill and are sick and are in trouble. And I want to start crying because I'm watching like black people injected with syphilis for 47 years secretly. I'm watching people being murdered slowly. And I know I'm right. And they don't tell cops don't shoot your kids up. They don't tell FBI agents don't shoot your kids up. See, you all think you're part of the establishment? You're not. You're all being targeted. I want to give the floor now to John Rappaport of NoMoreFakeNews.com. And we've been carrying his articles daily on this cover-up since it broke a week ago. And we need to get this out to everybody about this whistleblower. Recap his name, what he said, what happened, how they fixed the data, how they know the vaccines are one of the big things with all the other environmental toxicity to push it over the edge. And we've got to get this out. And then I want you to speak to the big picture. Do you agree with me, it's prima facie, that this is part of the soft kill, eugenics, slow culling? Before they can fully cull us, they've got to get us ready. The IQs are physically dropping. You can look at the graphs, the illnesses, the cancers, the neurological disorders, all across the Western world, the sperm counts, the fertility. We are under attack. John Rappaport.
It's biochemical warfare. That's what it is, under very many different guises, as you and I have talked about before, Alex, and as you've been talking about for a long time. William Thompson, CDC scientist, good reputation, long-term service, is one of the co-authors of a 2004 study in the very prestigious journal called Pediatrics. Not only that, but he's got co-authors on the study. And if you look at least two of them, Colleen Boyle and Frank DiStefano, it turns out, lo and behold, that they're also high-ranking CDC executives. They're not just research scientists, and they're in charge of major vaccine safety programs and so forth, which really means PR, public relations, lies told about how great and how safe vaccines are. And yet, with a conflict of interest, they also happen to be the authors on this study, along with Thompson. So after 10 years of sitting on his secrets, Thompson is so guilt-ridden that he goes public. In a statement through his lawyer, Rick Morgan of Cincinnati, who is a whistleblower attorney. And the carefully worded statement admits in the first two paragraphs that, yes, vital data were omitted from that study in 2004. And if those data had been included, then of course the link between the MMR vaccine and autism would have been apparent. But that data was taken out. And what was that data? It was all about African-American male babies under the age of 36 months who had been injected with the vaccine and who had significantly increased, 300% elevated risk of autism. That's the data that was buried intentionally. All the authors knew about it, and therefore the whole CDC knew about it, because two of those authors, at least, were big-time executives there. So this was all covered up. And now this is not somebody coming in from the outside saying, I know that the data in this study, was cooked and buried and distorted. This is one of the authors saying this, a CDC scientist actually saying this, which would be big time, major news all over the world if it were on any other subject. But it's about vaccines, which is the sacred, holy sacrament of the medical church, and therefore it must not be disturbed. And so what we're seeing is a huge media blackout all over the world on this subject, like it didn't happen, never took place. The whistleblower never came forward. He never said, we omitted vital data, we distorted the study, it was a fraud. No, never happened, never happened, never happened. And as I alluded to before the break, Alex, news like this, even within the medical research community, where we're talking published studies and we're talking plagiarism and we're talking distortion and lies and so forth, if somebody like this guy Thompson steps forward as a co-author on a major study and admits fraud and that the protocol of the study was violated, that's a quote from him, suddenly, we're talking major investigations here.
We're talking a huge international scandal. Totally. If it was anything else, but they've had a secret Trojan horse program in vaccines from the beginning, like Dr. Salk admitting to PBS before he died that they knew every ampule of the polio vaccine had SV40, super deadly cancer virus that literally more than doubled cancer rates in this country, and that's in their own declassified report. Again, this has been going on forever. It is so outrageous, and now we have another insider saying they covered up what it's doing to black people, because I've seen in the studies, hydrofluorosilicic acid, for whatever reason, in the studies, we've had medical doctors on, is even worse for blacks.
So this is now a study on vaccines, okay? And this is the empire, the vaccine
Exactly.
empire.
It's just funny that they want it covered up about what it's doing to blacks, because it's it's hurting everybody. But for whatever reason, this stuff all seems to be tailored to really screw them up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is something that Thompson knows. His co-authors like Colleen Boyle, Frank DiStefano, they all know it. The whole CDC knows it. The whole research world knows it. We know it. It's all over the internet. I've been writing stories about this end to end for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. The world knows about it, but the press, the big networks, the big newspapers, the big wire services, nothing. Occasional little story here and there, but it's a total blackout. And that's what we have to break. We have to break that blackout.
By the way, this clip we're about to play is from 2004, when two studies, one of them is the study in question, Journal of Pediatrics, came out and actually said in this study, because he's being very guarded in his lawyer's release, I don't even want to say whitewash, but it's a major watering down. The disgusting study in question is one of two that actually said mercury is good for children's brains. Now, for those that don't know, mercury is one of the most studied heavy metals. It causes electrochemical explosions in the brain. The brain is electrochemical, highly chemical. It's the only heavy metal that causes a chain reaction similar to what cyanide does in the brain. It is so deadly. And you can look at major university studies. They have electron microscope videos we've shown of what just a micron of mercury does in pig brain or human brain. Lead or something else just kills the neurons it touches. This just like keeps killing and just eats through it and just causes a chain reaction, massive die-off, and it's being shot directly in the blood, because they argue, well, tuna fish has got some mercury. Yeah, but it's bio-held. The gut is meant to be able to pass most of that out. It's when it's injected into the blood. And, of course, there's other things as well. But that's a small part of it, the thimerosal. This is from CBS News, but this aired all over the country. This was a local Austin report, but this PR piece aired all over the country saying mercury is good for you. Folks, this is how dumb they think you are. The government's putting up illegal cell towers to steal your data. We have